All right, good afternoon. Hey! Yay, welcome to Rotary. Hi, my name is Jennifer Bourne. I'm your fearless leader this year. It's also August 1st. What does that mean? Means we're, what, 5 weeks away from the golf tournament? 5 weeks from Monday. 5 weeks from Monday. It also means for Rotary International, it is membership month. So let's be thinking of things we can talk about with membership. One of the first things I want to talk to you guys about is fellowships. Who in this room has heard of Rotary International fellowships? Yeah, not that many. I hadn't either. If you guys have an interest, at Rotary International Calgary, there are fellowships for wine drinking. There are fellowships for airplane pilots. There are fellowships for travel. There is fellowships for like 100 different things. Wine. I said wine. Beer. Escape. All that.
Recovery.
There's all kinds of activities. So if you have an interest in kind of exploring your membership opportunities beyond this room, that is another way to do it. Our invocation today is led by George Johnson. Our pledge and four-way test is by Pat Ryan. George.
Let's pray. Our gracious Heavenly Father, Father, we love you and we're so thankful for you. We're grateful for the life and the breath, every heartbeat that you give us. Everything we have and everything we are is yours. Father, please help us to continue as a Rotary Club to benefit this community and to serve others as you would have us do. Please continue to bless those that are sick and are not able to attend right now. Please be with them and bless this effort today. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Please join me in pledge to our national colors. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now the pledge to the things say or do. First, it is the truth. Second, it's a fair of all concern. Third, will it build good without the benefits? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Certainly hope so. Yeah.
All right, and our secretary, Jennifer Shepard, is going to introduce guests for us. Thank you. All right, I'm going to fill guests today. Over here, guests on at the front table. We've got a couple of guests here that are no stranger to us, but let's introduce them anyway.
A very special guest. One is a dear friend. I think everyone know here, Matt. No need introduction for Matt, I think. But we have a very, very special guest. It's Emily. She's Matt's daughter. And she turned 17 today. So let's embarrass her. Can we sing her happy birthday, please?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
This is Josh Peck. He's a teacher and coach at Ravenwood High School and started in '02 when the school wasn't even built. Wow. That first meeting wasn't even in the building. Anyway, he is the robotics, engineering, social media, and coding. Well, the rest of the
Jason Holtz, yes, for it.
Everybody welcome my guest, Danielle Rutherford. She lives in Murfreesboro, but not associated with the county. Has a son that's about to start at Belmont. Is going to be a freshman. And high school down there. She's gonna tell a little bit about her business.
Hey everyone, thank you for the warm welcome. My name is Danielle Rutherford. I'm the owner of Seniors Helping Seniors, a non-medical home agency. I always say it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when our type of services are gonna affect your family or your life. I am a SME, consider me the SME. If you don't need us or just have questions, feel free to come up with me, grab my phone number, grab my card. Let me be a resource to you for community outreach, but anything non-medical to keep people aging in place with dignity and respect is what we. So thank you guys for having me.
And then we've got a couple of familiar faces that are sort of going through the membership pipeline. We've got Tammy McInerney and John Thompson. There you are. So if you have not had a chance to meet them and introduce yourselves, please do. Then where's Lewis? Got Lewis Uber drive. Oh, okay. I was gonna introduce. Okay, and I think that's it for. Okay, welcome guests. We are so glad you guys are here with us today. First thing, before we do announcements, I want to do a little trivia. If you were here last week, Betsy's dad, our beloved Betsy, got to speak, or her dad got to speak. Where was he stationed? In Hawaii.
No,
Nope.
not with my kids, it was. No, yeah, Lincoln Air Base.
It was an air base, that is true. No,
No, it's
what did he say?
Wheeler.
It was Wheeler.
Yeah, but, you know.
That's correct. Just testing your knowledge. Okay, couple things coming up, and they're always gonna be up behind me. We have, this week we have a wonderful speaker, and we're really excited for the speaker. You guys, Assan's making me look good. We have 3 for 3. Thank you. Next week we have another speaker, Jim Zuckerman, speaking. August 9th is a big day for us. So if you guys have nothing to do on August 9th, please set aside some time in your calendar. We are doing shopping with Today's Baptist Children's Home. Laura's going to talk about that in a moment. And then we're doing a club social at my house. Going to provide glucose burrito, maybe some alcohol. So if that gets you guys, then please come, because I'm going to hang out with you guys. Okay, so Larry is going to come up and talk a little bit about golf tournament, get us all excited.
I like that, didn't you? Exciting. All right, real quick, you're gonna hear from me every week. This is real quick stuff about the document. 5 weeks from Monday, right? 5 weeks from Monday. Last week, we had 3 members sell sponsorships. Is that good or bad? You tell me. 3 out of 100. Sold sponsorships last week. Now, those 3 sponsorships amounted to $4,800.
Yeah.
That's very good. So thank you, Ashley Burnett, Michael Kaplan, and Tom Carr. We did it. Another interesting number is there were 41 RSVPs to our meeting today. We get online every week. Being that I have the information, I checked those 41 RSVPs against who had sold sponsorships, and a grand total of 23 of those 41 people sold sponsorships.
It's busy, people.
So 23 of you did a great job. The other part of the 41, guys. Just hands, okay? We're down, we have 12 major sponsorships still outstanding from last year. I've actually had an inquiry on 3 of those this morning, so hopefully those will get sold and those all out of the way. The whole sponsor list went out to your team captains this week. Of the whole sponsors from last year, we had 100. So far, we had 10. Come on. These are the same people we talked to last year, $350. That's nothing in this world of sponsorship. We have 5 weeks. So let's get on it. Just add. I'll be back to you next week with some more great news. I hope. Thank you.
All right, now Laura's going to talk to us about our activity next Saturday.
All right, August 9th is the day that we are going to be shopping with the kiddos from Tennessee Baptist Children's Home. We are meeting at 10 a.m. at the Cool Springs Target, and we're gonna walk them around the store and pick out items with them. Now, these items are going to be paid for by the BRCCF, so we're not asking you to come bring a checkbook. We're asking you to just come be with them. Have fun with them picking out stuff and let them see what they might possibly need for school. 10 a.m. 10 a.m. So if you plan to go, number one, I don't want to overwhelm them, so I kind of need to know who is going to be there. So I will be waiting in the back to hear from anybody, or you can text or call me. My number's in that TV. But we want people to go. We want this to be an event for us to support them. This is a service opportunity and a great way for us to show them that we care about them. Thanks for being willing to participate. Yay.
All right, before we do happy bucks, as I mentioned in the beginning, August is membership month. So Larry also just mentioned we have 41 RSVPs today. I realize it's summer. If you guys haven't seen somebody who is a member of our club in a little bit, please reach out to them. Challenge each of you to reach out to one person that we haven't seen in a couple of weeks. And just ask them, make sure they're doing okay. And then if they're not, let us know. Because Family Rotary will get involved, but ask them to come back. All right, happy bucks. Bob.
I'll start us off. I'm both happy and relieved that today we'll celebrate our 53rd anniversary. Now, a lot of things my life understands long subject.
My wife and I were in the car the other day, and we, how we got her out of business, started talking about four-way tests and this is the thing, and she knew this, she says, I certainly hope so. At the end of it, I said, you know, it's interesting, I said, I'll bet you there's the majority of people in this club have no earthly idea why Jim says what he says. And so Jim, could I impose upon you to share why you say that and who it's in honor of, okay? So if you can just voice that, right? Yeah, whatever. Jim Bilby was a longtime member of this club, a man I love, man many of you love, and Richard Dickerson, he was here, he got to spend time with him after they were president and secretary together, and spent time afterwards, but he was just a fine, fine gentleman, and he always said that at the end of the four-way test, so I'll just keep it going.
Who else is that?
How y'all doing? Put in $5 because Charlie, my son, is 5 years old and he started kindergarten today. Really difficult to walk away, leaving him in the hands of a big giant massive school that they built, but really excited for this new evolution and he's gonna love it, I'm sure. Yeah.
I'm George Barrett, and I'm a little premature of August 11th dates in my calendar because on that day, my wife and I will be married 63.
Okay, I apologize, everybody. I'm trying to get the RSVP out right, and got it right this, okay? And only 2 people threw me into the bus. Where's Larry? The gator was wondering what's going on, okay? And where's Storms? Thank you for coming in and being, I thought, boy, I escaped everything. Doris comes in and says, good job, Bob. And also those of you veterans around here, where is it? Heidi. Here next. This most people realize next year is the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. This is the 250th anniversary of the founding of the Navy, Army, and the Marine Corps. And so Dick's the last guy that has been not around lately. That the U.S. Post Office put up postal stamps for all the various military services. So most of the other guys have gotten them. This Dick's the last guy that needs them. No, that's the wrong service.
Go ahead, go. Thank you. Even this is the best thing I've ever got from a Navy guy. Or if you share.
All right, good job, you guys. Okay, so next, our beloved Matt Largent over here is going to introduce our excellent speaker.
Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate that. This is kind of a neat full circle moment for me. Let's see if the photos comes up. I'll actually see it.
Hang on.
Okay. So,
Uh-oh.
no, it's good. It's really good. It's really good.
There you go.
So I've known the speaker today for 36 years. We're both from Arkansas. His son was my doubles partner growing up. And then later at college, we both attended the same college in Arkansas. And he and his wife, Judy, his much better half, were at the birth of both of my kids. This is actually Rachel in 2006 and Emily, who turned 17 today in 2008. So it's really an honor for me to get a chance to make this introduction and really talk about the ways that Bob, what it's meant to me and what he's meant to this community as well. Bob Fisher was president of Belmont for 21 years. In that time, nearly tripled the student population. Not sure how many buildings you built. I'm sure you'll talk about that. Brought 2 presidential debates, Tennessee in the year, one year, and I think most impressive, maintained an undefeated record for Belmont's football team in his tenure.
Since
Right.
1890.
Yes. So, again, I know Rob's got a presentation on what he's done in Belmont and what he's done post-retirement, but I'll just say, it really is an honor to get a chance to do this. I mean, Bob has been such an integral part of my life, like I said, for the last 36 years. He's a mentor, he's a friend, he's like a second brother to me. So, Bob, welcome to the stage.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow, what a surprise, and I wasn't ready for that. I teared up. That's so sweet. Thank you. And we have been friends for a long time, and Matt was such a great friend of my son. And of course, that means we all know how much that means to moms and dads too. It's so good to be with you all. I'm a Rotarian. I've been a member of 3 Rotary clubs for over like 35 years, and now a member of downtown Nashville, or anyway, Nashville. We meet at Geoda's Park, and I love what Rotary stands for, and I love the 4-way test. So this is what the world needs now is some 4-way tests, and it's so good to come together with people who believe in that. It was all said to talk a lot about math, but I'm going to move on pretty quickly because I'm overly ambitious kind of goal here today of what I want to talk about. First, I want to talk about a little bit about what we were able to do at Belmont. I've been retired 4 years, and now what I'm going to show you is 4 years old. So a couple of things have happened since then. Life goes on, Belmont keeps moving forward in such a positive way. But I've spoken to Brentwood Rotary before. It's been a while, and I'm just stunned. I guess you all forgot about that. I'm stunned you asked me that. I always think of this story about this Methodist preacher. You know how the Methodists do, they kind of rotate their preachers around oftentimes. So I'm Baptist, we keep the same preacher, but we rotate congregations. True. And so, one way or the other, it works. But this young Methodist preacher, just right out of seminary, he was so green, but he was so enthusiastic when he hits his first church and he goes there and he's just doing the best he can. But you know what? At the end of the first year, he knows it's just not working. He just didn't feel good about what had happened that year. So but to his surprise, they reappointed him. And he said, okay, Lord, I'm going to do better this year. We're going to, and this happened like 3 years. For 3 years, he just kept feeling like he was being successful. So he picked out this one guy at church who he knew speaks the truth. You got to be careful with those people, that if you ask them, they're going to tell you the truth. So he went to Mr. Eckert and said, Mr. Eckert, I'm trying my best, but all the metrics are down, attendance is down, giving is down, sprinklings are down, everything's down. why do you keep asking me back? And he said, well, preachers like this. Most of the preachers we had around here, all they did was talk about sin, death, hell. Why, if you took a poll of the congregation, you'd find out that most of us just as soon have no preacher at all. And you're about the closest. So, you know, I get it, you know, you took a vote. Who do you want to speak? Nobody. Let us just visit. Well, anyway, I'm here and excited to be here. But I'm going to do something. I want to talk a little bit about what we accomplished at Belmont. I want to talk about how we did it. Secondly, and then I want to talk a little bit about what's going on in our life right now. And let me introduce my wife, Judy, who's here with me today. She's came along to be the timekeeper, right, Judy? But we're going to fly through these slides, okay? And these are slides that from my very last board meeting with Belmont's board. I don't have anybody to help me anymore with slides and presentations. And I mean, and does anybody know how OneDrive works on your? I type stuff in the Word and then it disappears into OneDrive. But anyway, I find my workarounds, and so this is kind of a workaround for me. But we came in the year 2000, and in 2000, we decided first thing our leadership team needs to come up with is a strategy. And I'm a business school guy. And Michael Porter, who I taught from his materials, business strategy for a lot of years. And using his concepts, we came up with this idea that we wanted to differentiate ourselves, we wanted to focus and wanted to grow. We looked at Nashville and said, what's going on in Nashville? And it's music, and it's business, and it's healthcare. Well, why don't we connect to those things? And Belmont, when I got there, was so connected to business, to music, and already connected to healthcare in a pretty good way. So Bill Trout, my predecessor, did an amazing job of setting the stage, and we were ready to go, and we were ready to take off when we got here. So that was our strategy. You see growth, but this was something our leadership team adopted, that universities that have risen to global leadership over the last 20 years invariably began with ambitions that were out of all proportion to their resources and their capability. I mean, in other words, they're nuts. Right? Well, you can't do that. You can't. Yep. But that's what we decided. We wanted audacious, obsession-driven goals, and we became obsessed with winning at every level and swinging at every pitch and going for it every time. And we go for it, even though we had the undefeated football since 1890. But if we had a team, we'd go for it on 4th down. We'd be one of those teams. And we began our quest thinking, you know, my best hopes were maybe for 10 years, but we got to 20 years. I think it takes to totally transform an organization. It takes a while to get all that done, but we were so blessed to be a part of it. And so that was our new strategy. And moving forward, some good stuff happened. You look at our enrollment went from 2,900 to actually about 8,400. Yeah, ACT went up, all our key indicators went up in the board capacity. Thank goodness. We changed the composition by the way we live. So many more people joined us. We became more diverse naturally, which is kind of cool. Our staff doubled, our faculty doubled, our budget grew by 10 times over the course of those years. Our endowment grew substantially. Our professors were being paid at the 45th percentile when we got there. And I just throw those numbers up to say, you know, that don't listen to one, okay? Especially the full professor. And we paid all of our staff well. I'm so proud that we paid our custodians over 36% higher than the market rate. I mean, HR told us, here's what they make, here's what you ought to pay. I said, no, that's not good. And guess what? They rewarded us by being a part of our team, by helping us recruit students and helping make sure things were always good. And this is the part we're gonna really fly through. I mean, I could make a 2-hour presentation of this, obviously. And if you want to stay afterwards, I'm free to stay. We'll go back over this. But one of my friends took this photo, and I know this looks a little egotistical, but that was what greeted me when I came to Belmont in the year 2000. That's his dad. In fact, Mark Carpenter, I think, lives in Franklin here, and that's his dad. And they took that picture, and 3 years later, this is the same camera angle that we're looking at. We had built what was absolutely the seminal moment in kicking us off was Mike Kerr's gift and the Beaver's gift and Maddox's gift made it possible for us to build this facility. And we were playing basketball in this gym, Strickland gym, great gym. But I had the privilege of going in and telling Larry Strickland, we're gonna tear down the gym. I mean, there's a lot of stuff about this job. It wasn't fun. I sent the athletic director and he came back and said, I spent the day with him, I just couldn't do it. I said, Rick Bird. He said, we played golf, but that's for sure. And I said, darn it, I can. So I went down and did it. But you know what he said? He said, makes me a little sad, but you gotta move on. Oh, whoa. So that's where we play then. That's where we play now. And quite a transition. That was our student life center, pool table, foosball. I mean, it really was. And then in the Gap Student Life Center, that's our part of our student life center today. That's what that looks like. That's where we did theater till your sister. But this is where we do theater today. That's where we did acoustical music performances. That's where we do it today. That's where we taught nursing. And this is where we teach nursing today. That's where we taught PT and OT. But that's where we teach it today, along with the pharmacy school that we got started during that time. That's where we play baseball. I was grateful for that, but that's where we play baseball today at Rose Park. Baseball, softball, track, soccer. That's the back of the 3 of the 4 dorms that were there when you were a student. Those dorms are still there, but on this side of it, that's the same view that from the same point. That's a parking lot that was not far from there, and that's where our law school with the #1 pass rate, not in the state, in the country on water, with the law school is. That was some of the student housing then. Russell Hall took that place. This place was taken by Threlkeld Hall. This place was taken by Dickens Hall and Bear Park. This place was taken, I think that's Oral Hall, and there's Jack Ben's Hall, we call it. That's where we did student worship, and that's the chapel now. That's the corner of Wedgewood and 15th. That's that same exact corner now. That's the green roof and the geothermal work. Matt knows was driven by my son's passion. He was in college as an environmental consultant, and he pushed me all the time to do things like this. That's after the geothermal wells were installed. We built parking underground everywhere. If we one Christmas, and this is how freaky I am, if Judy kicked me out of the house after everybody, all the visitors left, and I got a map of the campus, and I cut out little pieces of paper the size of our parking garages, and then I stacked them on the map. If we didn't have parking garages, the whole campus would have to be a parking lot. I mean, and we've got parking underground throughout the campus, And that's what that looked like then, and that's what it looks like now. And we remodeled a lot of stuff. And that was already there, really good, but total remodeling of the Jack Massey building. There's Brad and Kimberly. But I see the dirt that has my face right there. Brad, dirt my face. But we provided us the land for them to build this store. Their free grocery store operation on our campus, at the edge of our campus and right next door. It's a whole lot of community services that our faculty provide. That was the view on Belmont Boulevard then. We turned it into that, and we turned it into that, and we turned it into that. And this building's been open for like 2.5 years. But that's maybe 3 years. But that's where it stands today, and that's where Dolly is performing. What about 40 performances of her new musical? Or she's not performing. They tell me she's there every time, but that's Dolly. But the musical Dolly. So 1,700 people for 40 days come through campus. That's a good thing. I still get these moments where the entrepreneurial spirit gets juiced up in me. That was a parking lot, but we turned it into our tennis center. And of course, 500 parking places underneath. And that's the Dan Crockett Athletic Center for Excellence, where practice facilities for football. No, never. Don't do it. It was basketball and volleyball, and the tennis facilities are in there as well. Golf facilities as well. That was one of the last projects that I got to kick off was the building of what is now Penny Hewlett Hall on Caldwell Street, and there's a corner of Wedgwood and 14th Street, which now same view is Thomas Friss College of Medicine. So we built a few things, and I guess the thing I want to say, and I'll say it more than once, is we were pretty good. We weren't this good. God bless our work. I'm telling you in the most extraordinary way. And I mean that. I'm so humbled by it. The further I get away from it, the more humble I become to know, how did that happen? And it was just extraordinary. We worked hard, we had a good strategy. I'll say some more about that in a minute. But the things that we were able to do, this was the campus from an aerial view in the year 2000. You can see the bottom of that is Wedgwood Avenue. But see all those houses? See all of those on the left and down in the corner. There's more at the top out of the scene. We purchased 147 properties over those 20 years. I mean, we were purchasing 20 or so a year, which meant a couple $100 billion properties to grow in. And Belmont owns all 4 of those houses. And those are 4 of the most stubborn people. No, they're not. They're not. The people that live there aren't the ones that own it. It's landlords that own it. And one guy told me, this is going to be my retirement. This house is my retirement fund. And I said, okay, he's about my age. I said, that's fine, but just don't make it your estate plan. Don't hold on it too long. But we, in open market, and I promise you, fair prices to the buyer. Awfully unfair, but we paid them. We were able to transform that, so we went from that to that, and this doesn't show the last couple of residence halls we built. So that's where we are now. And just a quick some quick comments about how we got there. We got there by sticking to some key principles. And I've had the privilege to be a part of writing a couple of books in my experience. One was called Real Green Teams that I wrote with Bo Thomas a long time ago. And we came up with some characteristics of great teams. And none of these characteristics should be surprising. We came up with the idea of that your purpose and your mission is critical. Everybody knows that. We came up with that if you want a great team, you got to support each other and stick together and build trust. That everybody on the team has a clear set of roles and responsibilities. Great teams have a spirit of cooperation where people go up to one another and say, "What can I do for you?" Rather than, "Here's what you can do for me." That spirit of what's best for the team. Great team people talk to each other, open, honest communication. Great teams have individuals on who are committed to developing their own talents, their individual excellence, get better and better and better at what they do so they can make for a better team. And great teams have a winning attitude. They expect to win. They go that you just don't get a lot of negative talk from great teams. That even when things aren't good, they continue to expect to win. And none of this should, this list that we came up with in our research, and then after interviewing some really famous team leaders like John Wooden, got to spend an afternoon with him, and Lou Holtz, and Nobel Prize winners, Medal of Honor recipients. It's such a treat to be able to talk to those people. We really didn't learn anything that new that you couldn't find in the group dynamics literature already for years and years. People knew that's what it took to make teams work. But what we discovered is how few teams are willing to commit themselves to those principles. It is hard. And I mean, like a real commitment. And there's so much I see around me that's obvious in the world about leadership. And the key thing is they're not secrets. It's just, and we didn't worry about it because we just knew how hard it was to commit yourself to do those things and to do them all the time and to hold each other accountable for doing that. And I think that's why, extraordinary performance looks so extraordinary. It's because of the dedication and the discipline and effort that it takes to make it work. But then a few years later, after we were at Belmont, Judy and I wrote a book together. And it was called Life is a Gift. And it was based on interviews with 105 people in the Alive Hospice program. These people sitting on the front porch of eternity. We asked them, what really matters in life? What's most important in life? You know what? The things they told us weren't that different from that list of real dream things. It was amazing to me. They talked about leading life with purpose and how that was a big deal when you get to that point that you can look back and say, I'm proud of my life and I'm proud of what I did with it. They talked about forgiveness. They talked about God all the time, a lot. I think they talked about heaven. But they talked about more than anything, they talked about relationships. They talked about families. I had a 98-year-old said what's brought us the greatest joy is our family. I had a 5-year-old named Maddie who I asked, if your life, I had to ask her differently because she's 5. And said, what's brought you the greatest joy in life, Maddie? But she's 5 years old. I said, Maddie, if your life were a coloring book and you opened it up, and it's a picture of you, it's the happiest you've ever been in your life. What's it a picture of? In Maddie's coloring book. And she didn't hesitate. She said, this picture of, and by the way, Maddie was dying of neuro fibro infectious all disease, little tumor growing in the nerve ends. Think about it. She didn't hesitate. She said, it's a picture of me sitting in my mommy's lap. And my dad's there, and my cat Thomasine is in my lap. And my brother Palmer's there too, but he's not touching. But 98-year-old said, well, what's most important is when my family comes around. 5-year-old, what'd she say? What is it? It's my family. And so in the intensity of all the work, don't ever forget that. It's your family that comes first. But then at work, it's those relationships. We heard over and over. We heard Harold told us that he was an architect and told me, be careful with people, Bob. I said, oh man, I know that. You know, you looking over his shoulder all the time, and he's now you missed it. I said, what? Just be careful with people, the way you're careful with precious and fragile things. Don't break them. Wow. We were reminded of the C.S. Lewis sermon, The Weight of Glory, where he says, in your life, you've never met an ordinary person. You've not met one ordinary person, but you meet every day. As you go about your work, as you go about your life, as you meet immortals to be. So these are creatures that if you saw them in the next life, you'd either run from them in horror because they're so scared, or you would be tempted to bow down and worship them because they're like angels. And by the way, here it is, think of it, by the way we treat each other, we're helping one another every day to get to one or the other place. That's powerful, folks. So think about the way we treat one another. We're determining folks' eternity. And that's the kind of stuff we're going to learn from that. And those were the kind of lessons that I was able to bring back, and our team was able to bring those kinds of lessons to bear too. And we try to live by those things. And sure, we made lots of mistakes, and we slipped up sometimes and tripped, but that's what we were trying to do. And I think it's so important that as leaders, that you all have those clear sets of principles and guidance, that things that you're trying to do. Well, since I retired, I spent the first year just breathing and sleeping, and then Judy made me get up. And about halfway through that second year, I found out I was invited to come back to my alma mater for an interim chancellor role while they searched for a new guy, and I went and remembered why I retired. Working those half days, it was 7 to 7. I mean, it was tough. But it was also such a privilege. It's such a joy, especially to see the leader that they got, man. I went to this school, and so at that, I'm still active on some nonprofit boards. I am kind of an associate of the Alliance for an Affordable Nashville. They've taken me on as kind of their mascot or unpaid consultant. It's an alliance of 10 nonprofits, including Habitat for Humanity, Affordable Housing Resources, and 8 others, dedicated to finding ways, solutions to affordability. You all know what a challenge that is. But the one thing, you know, that, and Judy knows this is kind of taking me by surprise, was just before I left Belmont, we started teaching our bachelor's degree over at the Attorney Correctional Facility. And I decided, okay, well, I ought to teach a course over there. So I signed up to teach a course and went over in person to the attorney. It's about an hour drive east of here, east of Nashville. And there were 22 men in my class. There were 6 lifers in my class. I had no idea what to expect. But I don't know how to say it. They got my heart. There's some really good people who are incarcerated. Don't get me wrong, there's some bad dudes in there. You know, there's some that just waiting to get out. But there's some people who, if you believe in forgiveness and you believe in transformation possibilities, if you need it, believe in restoration and redemption, you know. And one thing, folks, that I realized, I've been that far from being there myself. And I don't know if you have, but I was, just one day driving over there, I was late, and I was going about 80 something. And I dropped my phone. Not supposed to be on the phone, dude. And I started to bend over and pick it up. And I think God just slapped me in the face. And I realized, what if I do that? And I lose control of my car, and I go across center, and I hit a van full of children. But there it is. It's that close sometimes, and you might not even see it. But anyway, I've come to, when I finished teaching that course, and by the way, it's the best course I ever taught. The best students, they completed every assignment. They were not whiners, no whining, and no parents called me. No, that's worth the price of admission. But on the way out the door, they asked me to get involved as an outside sponsor, music club, which I've done. And I try to bring, we built guitars over there last Saturday. That they are keeping some in their music club, that they're giving some to the high schools that are surrounding the prison over there. We took songwriters over there, Grammy Award winning, Emmy Award winning, Dove Award winning songwriters to teach them songwriting. We're doing that sort of thing, and so much more. And I hope to do so much more. But the thing that I realized when I retired is you still need a purpose in life. And it can't be Belmont anymore, because I love Belmont, and we will always cheer for Belmont, but they have a new leader. He's not even new anymore. I know he doesn't feel new anymore. He's been there 4 years. So in retirement, I had to reevaluate what's my purpose. And I just think that God has a purpose for every one of us, no matter what stage of our life. And so I'm continue to seek that and try to fulfill that. And the last thing I want to do is close with a story that this happened while I was at Arkansas State as a vice president of academic affairs. And I tell you that position because the president there, Arkansas State was playing the University of Hawaii in football at Hawaii. But the president said, I'm going, you stay here, but you're in charge. Okay. I've never been in charge before. But he went. And while they were there, they went on a little excursion, and they went to the top of one of the mountains. They rented bikes and they started riding down the mountain. And they hadn't gone far at all when Jeannie, his wife's bike malfunctioned, and she wrecked. She literally tore her liver in half. Right. And she was in the hospital there for weeks. I got to be in charge for weeks, but not for the right reason. But I remember then she tells a story about the day she left the hospital, and she's packing up her bags. And as she's packing them up, a new nurse comes in who's not been assigned to her before that day, so she's leaving. And the nurse picks up her chart and starts looking at it. And after like a minute, she said, I glanced at the nurse again, and she's got this look on her butt. And she said, I said to her, what? And she said, well, I'm sorry, but I was just looking at your chart. And I've seen a couple of people come in this hospital pretty much in the same condition you came in. She said, I've never seen anybody walk out of here after coming in here in that condition. And she said, and Jeannie said, I just stood there, and then she said, and then the nurse said, you've been given a gift. And guess what? So have I. And so have you. And as you go about your life, you know, let's live it like it's a gift, okay? Let's live it every day like it's a gift from God. Thank you.
Okay, so, thank you for speaking to us. We do have a gift for you.
Oh,
We also, if I can open it, pen. And if you wouldn't mind, we read to second graders, it's second grade, right? First graders, thank you. We read to first graders in the elementary schools here in Brentwood, and if you'll sign it, we'd like to share with them about your time with us. Too.
thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, you guys. What a great speaker. Thank you so much for coming. I want to re-welcome our guests today, Judy, Bob, right here, Matt, Emily. Of course, thank you. It was really nice to meet you too, Emily. Happy birthday. I think Josh was here. Danielle. Oh, all right. And Tammy and John. I saw John over there. Yes, okay. So thank you guys for coming. All right. So 8 stacks of 8. If you guys would put the chairs and the stacks of 8 away from the wall, right? That would be great. Next week, our speaker is, so you guys ready? Jim Zuckerman. I don't know if you've heard of him. I looked him up this morning. He's a local photographer here in the area, author, teacher, editor of Photographer Magazine. He's been doing it longer than I've been alive, which is like 20 years. So be here next year, be here next week. All right, so pretty good already.
Hey.